Gambians decided to end 22 years of dictatorship in a non-violent manner by voting President Adama Barrow into power. This brought back focus to the tiny West Africa state, and the move to reinstitute democracy, freedom and justice was welcomed by not only Gambians and the sub-region, but the world over. ECOWAS, supported by the regional and global community, decided to use diplomacy and military intervention to defend the will of Gambians. This resulted to President Adama Barrow taking the responsibility Gambians vested on him to serve them. In April 2017, His Excellency President Adama Barrow embarked on a thank-you tour of 3 ECOWAS member countries, Sierra Leone, Liberia and Ghana. President Barrow arrived at the Lungi International Airport in Freetown, Sierra Leone at the start of his West Africa tour. The president and delegation were received by Sierra Leone's Vice President Victor Faure and other high-ranking government officials. Outside the airport, there was a lively atmosphere as a cross-section of the Gambian community welcomed the president. The president left for the hotel where he was welcomed by President Ernest Bai Koroma, who played a key role in resolving the political crisis as one of the mediators. President Barrow was thankful for this show of support and solidarity given the critical situation the Gambia faced. President Koroma, on the other hand, felt obliged to intervene to prevent the political impasse degenerating into a crisis that could have far-reaching consequences for the entire sub-region.
We also feel that it is a great responsibility because Sierra Leone is the closest you have in terms of historical background, in terms of language, and in terms of family ties. So that is why we cannot sit by and allow anything to go wrong with our brothers and sisters, and we don't come in and play a role that is expected of us. So for us it is a responsibility, it's an obligation, it is a responsibility at the regional level, it is a responsibility at the bilateral level, and it is a responsibility at the family level. So in all fronts, we have a big role to play.
After their talks, the Sierra Leonean leader hosted a banquet in honor of President Barrow and delegation at the Bitumani Hotel. The following day, President Barrow drove to the presidential palace in central Freetown for a closed-door meeting with his host. The president later visited the Gambian embassy in Freetown, where he met and interacted with staff. He then left for the proposed site to the new Gambia embassy in one of the diplomatic districts of the capital. President Barrow also visited a meat processing site just on the outskirts of the capital. The state-of-the-art facility is one of the model projects that is set to enhance food sustainability and provide employment by utilizing locally produced ruminants and birds. The president capped off his Sierra Leone visit with a meeting with the Gambian community. This was an opportunity for both sides to exchange views on the new Gambia that has become the hallmark of the president's administration. The president recognized the role of the diaspora community in shaping Gambia's transition to an all-inclusive democracy.
To welcome you to Sierra Leone and thank you for having you here with us. We, the Gambia Youth Organization in Sierra Leone, we organize our organization here, which main objective and aims is to foster unity with the Gambians here. The Gambian Youth Organization was formed in 2010 and has grown with all its members countrywide. On the highlight, we see every important, we work together as one Gambian to continue the unite and good name of our nation.
Kana Sierra Leone B Badia wole nati Sierra Leone. Kabrin carte fayo keta bala mo keta ECOWAS bankol le tombong pour ye diam pour Gambia Cairo be sot la je ñami Sierra Leone tarta o bankol le kon Anes Baye Kuruma wolom président oti aben wo délégation ko le mentata pour que diamu Gambia pour Gambia Cairo buruje fo Gambia Cairo nata muruna jeetu wala ko ndi kunun kabirna e ñoje nkay ko ni lafta Sénégal tentula kay do ko betoleke ilafta pour ka nimbara woto ñanda wulla état tra la balimoto état tentula wala ken ninna da Sierra Leone ka tentu ka jayi ay kato menke andun ka nyita la fananko ye doko menke ye toñale sabatindi ye doko menke ye démocratie le fasa ye doko menke ye Africa le sambanya.
On the next leg of the tour, the presidential plane landed at the Roberts Field Airport outside Monrovia, where Her Excellency President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was at hand to receive President Barrow. After the usual airport ceremonies, President Barrow was received at the Monrovia City Government Headquarters, City Hall, by the Mayoress, Mrs. Clara Do Mogo. He was handed the key to the city of Monrovia and declared honorary citizen in a symbolic ceremony reserved for visiting heads of states. In the evening, a meeting was convened with the Gambian community resident in Liberia. The small Gambian community had a lot of issues on the agenda, and the meeting was important as it helped thrash out some of the challenges facing these people.
Gambia tarra bulo kono bulo me alonko mo jama be jay mamira kafu ko mbelu men kono biya be kala moolu men fana kete sababo de ke jatoli bondi ke le time wol bondi ke le londo li bondi hanni ataran to be fala bar hanni to fata ndingol men mina wol sajo ko fate to le ko ye mar jombe gamme ko no ka fale wo moolu hanni mo toli fo o moolu be siren ko na janne be wol lon the fensor no la ka dialla par sa fa nim bara yo thank you very much.
We've gone through some very hard times. Of course, I mean, that is a fact that is known to everyone. We were not the only players in ensuring that those hard times were brought to an end. You, the Gambians, in various parts of the world, in the diaspora, whether it's the American or European diaspora or the African diaspora, you have done your contributions. See, last year this time I was a prisoner. Yes, last year this time I was a prisoner. But it was you, the Gambians, who have really done what should be done to liberate our country. You see, I think it was on the 5th of December, when addressing some people, I was very emotional that day, but I likened President Adama Barrow to Moses. And I likened the Gambia to the state of Israel under the Pharaoh, a tormented nation whose citizens were brutalized, whose citizens were tortured, subjected to all sorts of humiliation by their ruler, until Moses came around to take them to the promised land. He is our Moses. That promised land is the New Gambia, which you, with your support, he was able to carry us. He has brought an end to torments in the Gambia. No one fears any authority.
But alsa lonko kato men kita Gambia fonyin kenota ate keno lanum naltel men be banda alfanan malte osidim alialte osidi bake alle kata jamake social media ni WhatsApp bol kumol bije albije 24 hours abuka kuntu we kibaro sindi Gambian ko bema alla dimbar melbe Gambia aliya fo e kafo e tonya fasa wota leo kato menke mfana nga recognize le al salon ka fako kuwo kube Gambia mbal kontila kuwo konol atikilal ko nafa o nafa fana be sodo la je al fana be nafa sodo la je al nata nyini ndiro la nyim banko kono lundamo le malti jang bari africano le malti woto nalbi jang loi men bi jali o loi buña nale o loi buña dron isaji alti bata da so bari al hakilos nyim fana mutako yiro meta jiyo kono nyaawo nya yiri kundo meta jiyo kono nyaawo nya ate keno la bamboti woto nalbi jang alkana nyina aliyala.
A planned meeting with the Liberian president took place at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs building where Madam Johnson Sirleaf is based. The two leaders later drove to the airport where they held a brief press conference. The Liberian leader, who is also the chair of ECOWAS, led two mediation trips to Banjul to convince former President Jammeh to step down.
I would like to welcome on behalf of all Liberians, the President of the Republic of Gambia and the Foreign Minister of Gambia. The President has been gracious enough to come to Liberia as he's going to many other West African countries to be able to say thank you to me, to Liberia, for the support that we gave him, along with all of our colleagues that put the Gambia back on the path of democracy. And so I've expressed our thanks to him for going that extra mile by coming personally to say thank you to us. Mr. President, welcome, welcome, and we pray that God will guide you as you move your country along the path of democracy and development. Thank you for coming.
These mediation efforts helped end the crisis, for which President Barrow was very grateful to his host.
I'm pleased to be in Liberia. I think this is my second time here. But the first time it was a great one. I was not noticed. I'm pleased to be here. My message is clear. I'm here just to say thank you to Mama.
The last stage of his tour was to Ghana. On arrival, Gambian president and delegation were received by the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ghana. From the airport, the president drove to the Boma camp for Friday prayers, where his presence did not go unnoticed.
For me, it's a pleasure that our visiting president, because of the understanding and importance that attaches to Salah, he didn't want to miss the Juma Salah. Some other president would have said, I am here for state business. But he said, no, my first point of call from the airport is the mosque. And no other mosque but Masjid al-Aziz.
The visit climaxed with a meeting at the Flagstaff House, which is the seat of the Ghanaian president. There, the two leaders spoke about the events in the Gambia that almost brought the country on the brink, testing the credibility of ECOWAS and its leaders.
I did so because I thought that it was important for three reasons. And those three reasons are also the reasons why you have become a symbol. First of all, the process of democratic consolidation in our region required that the region stand up and support the Gambian people's decision to elect you as their new leader. It would have been a major setback for the process of democratization in the region if we had just sat back and watched the clear expression of the will of a member state of the region being thwarted by an outgoing president. And then secondly, the opportunity it gave for ECOWAS to act as a collective unit with a common purpose and an objective was important. And the Gambian episode in the life of West Africa represented such a moment. And then finally, the fact that at the end of the day, the combination of diplomacy and the threat of military intervention resulted in a peaceful resolution of the crisis and brought it to power. I think all of that means that the actions that ECOWAS took, which were supported actively by some of us, I believe stands vindicated by history. And you have become a symbol of all of that.
We both contested election at the same period. We both won election as opposition, both incumbent lost the election. But in Ghana, the president opted to hand over power gracefully. And in my own country, he opted for games. My coming to Ghana is a very simple reason. My message is to come and say thank you. We have a proverb in our own saying. If you want to praise a farmer and you want to thank him,
for a remarkable job, a job well done. You have to visit him at his or her farm. That's why I am here today.
President Barrow ended his trip with a meeting with the Gambian community in Ghana. Issues of the welfare and the development back home dominated the agenda, with the residents reassuring them of his desire to open a new chapter for the country as it emerges from one of the darkest chapters of its history. The president and delegation left Ghana on a promising note after a 3-day tour that will re-energize the Gambia's relations with its neighbors and enable it to reclaim its place as one of the most proactive players of sub-regional peace and integration.